and you can start your presentation. I think you know how to do it. You have to upload it. You have a positive sign at the right-hand side down, and if you click it, you will have 3 options, and then in this options you will have you have to use the middle one, and then you can upload your PowerPoint and start your presentation. Well, it seems that I cannot actually activate your, since I cannot activate your microphones, I have to, I do not have access to the microphones yet. At the same time, I'm trying to get access to a laptop and get into the class through my laptop as well, if it becomes possible for me. But while, since in this situation, I don't know whether you have access to the microphone or not. If you can hear me, still hear me, I am trying to get into the you can still hear me. I'm trying to get into the class with my laptop if I can. If it's possible. I'm afraid the net here is not working very well, and I have some difficulties. The problem is that I cannot see your comments or hear you or activate your if you please be patient a little bit. I think it will be possible to get in, but it takes time. So please be patient a little bit, see what will happen. If you can hear me, I will turn to another device and I will be connected in few second time, okay? Just be patient a little bit. Okay, friends. Good morning. How are you, everybody? Do you have my voice now? I have entered the class since 7:30, but I'm afraid since I did not have access to my computer, I had to get into the class by my cell phone. I'm afraid it did not work very well because I could not see your names and I did not receive I could not see your messages on the board, so on the screen, I'm afraid. Well, this inconvenience have taken place. Forgive me for this. Today, I suppose Mr. Jawad Kazem and also Abdulreza Hamoud and Hoveida Qadouri are going to present the first part of the book that we were supposed to present it. Okay, if you are ready, Mr. Mani Muhammad, are you going to join the class? Okay, the presentation. Okay, fine. If you are ready, please. Do you have any file to upload? Do you have any file to upload? If you have a file to upload, you can click on the plus sign at the right hand side of the screen in the bottom, and then you can can you see the plus sign on the screen? If you click on the plus sign, you will have, if you click it, you will have three options. Please choose the middle one. There is one at the top, one at the bottom. Choose the middle one. It is the picture of a schematic picture of a screen. If you choose the middle one, it will tell you what to do. You cannot find the... Okay, click on that. Click on the minus sign. See what appears on the screen. First of all, let me activate your Mr. Mani Muhammad Hassan, I have opened your microphone. I am looking for Taysir. Taysir, I have opened your microphone too. I must also open Hoveyde. Let me see. Hoveyde.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello,
Sorry for this
fine.
inconvenience.
No problem. Sir, my name is Mona Muhammad Hassan.
It's Mona. Sorry, I'm very sorry.
No problem.
Because if it's written...
Yeah.
Okay, let me correct myself here and write it down, Mona.
Okay, sir.
Okay, could you upload your file?
I couldn't because I don't have the plus in my screen. I only have the minus, and when I press on minus, the screen disappeared.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Look on your screen because it seems that your screen is different from mine. So what I have in my screen is different from what you
sir. I'm sorry about interrupted you, but we send the file on your WhatsApp and on your email. Can you apply to it?
If it is in the WhatsApp, I will check it out. Let me see if I find it. Okay. Then if all the students have access to it, you can start your presentation. Okay?
Okay.
Please start your presentation. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
The class is yours.
Yes. Just a minute. Okay. Good morning, everyone. This presentation made by Mr. Muhammad and Ms. Huwaida, Ms. Taysir, and me. So I will present my presentation today on you. First, what I want to say at the first, today postgraduate students need to be able to acquire, use, and evaluate a wide range of electronic resources, mark, export, and store electronic records, participate in discussion formats, identify and order books remotely. They will most likely have their own laptop with Wi-Fi, ending continuous and uninterrupted high-speed internet access, will be able to multitask across a range of open windows and use email to maintain links with their tutors and each others. The postgraduate student of the future will have access to information through a variety of internet, web, browsing device, will be more actively engaged in the social construction and dissemination of knowledge. The wiki model, will have access to remote archive that they have never physically visited and will supervise it largely through a virtual research environment. The tools and techniques for literary research are constantly changing. The college for any postgraduate research student is to adapt accordingly. Tools of the trade. In order to succeed, you will need to acquire and master a set of key attributes and skills that you will be able to deploy with confidence on a regular basis. This includes, for example, number one, having an overview of the main online and printed sources relevant to your research. 2, getting to know a range of available online sources and being able to evaluate these sources comparatively. 3, evaluate and retrieve relevant primary material and secondary scholarship of your research topic. Number 4, using online and printing sources to identify and locate material archives. 5, participating in online information network and becoming part of a research community. Number 6, finally, being able to keep up to date with development in the subject. So, this presentation or this part contain also sections. For example, sections 1, General Principle of Postgraduate Literary Research. This section aims to familiarize you with how to use electronic and printing resources in your literary research, a basic level of computing website and an awareness of how to mark, download, and export database search results is assumed. This section will offer you some basic principles to underpin your research, which you can then apply to the sources discussed in section 2. Continue, sir.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. Continue, sir.
Yes, please carry on. Well,
yeah,
actually, I didn't receive your file in my WhatsApp, but I am trying to upload your file from my email. But I didn't have it in my. I didn't have it in my.
Okay, I have sent it in the group.
Okay.
You want?
Okay. No, because I have it in my email. Okay, you carry on.
Okay, that is good. Yes. This section aims to familiarize you with how to use electronic and printed resources in your literary research, a basic level of computing expertise such as operating Microsoft Word, the ability to use a web browser to access, browse, and bookmark websites, and an awareness of how to mark, download, and export database search results is assumed. This section will offer you some basic principles to underpin your research, which you can then apply to the sources discussed in section 2. So we have also in section 1, preparation is key to effectiveness in scholarly research. Survey what is available online before you arrange a visit to a library, as a large number of scholarly journals, books, both primary sources and criticism, and reference works are now available online. Start your research by finding out what is easily available online and focus on what else you need to locate it before visiting a library. You should therefore create a hierarchy in your approach to research. First, identify what is available online. Familiarize yourself with the main digital resources that are available to you through public access sites, as well as those offered through your home institution. So, number 2, second, visit your own university library, either in person or via its website, and familiarize yourself with both the available electronic and material holdings. Third, identify your nearest major research library. This may well be your own university library if you are of Oxford or Cambridge. But the other most important research libraries in the UK include the British Library and the National Libraries of Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. In advance of your visit, identify specific sources, books, journal, articles, and what else. Finally, that you will have or that you have not been able to find either online or in your university library print collection, and organize your research trip around this. Also in this section, we have getting started with the internet. What do we mean by getting started with the internet? I think using the internet will be essential to postgraduate research. You need to be aware of what you can find there and develop key skills so that you can get the most out of it. The internet is multimedia resource. You will find not just text, but images, videos, video clips, audio material, and so on. Make sure that you are aware of basic research skills, can manage your web browser, and understand the terminology in common usage before you start research. You can develop your internet and searching skills competence by searching for tutorials, or you can watch videos on YouTube. A video on basic skills of searching using Google search engine. For example, I mean this link, https://youtube.com watch. So also in this section we had in Google, although it is only decade old, www.google.com has become as indispensable research tool as a postgrad literary search. You will use it frequently, but it does pay to understand what it does and doesn't do.
Lost your voice?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine, okay.
Yeah. Using Google. In this section also we have using Google. Although it is only decade old, www.google.com has become an indispensable research tool. As a postgraduate literary researcher, you will use it frequently, but it does pay to understand what it does and doesn't do. The biggest problem you will face when conducting a Google search is the sheer number of hits returned. There are a number of ways which you can delimit search fields and maximize the retrieval of relevant information. You can restrict your search by language, domain, national, territory, date, range, type of material, and file format, using the advanced search function and entering a specific phrase or combination of word by placing it in double speech marks will greatly improve the accuracy of your search, as it will search for only that particular combination. You can also undertake a synonym search by placing a tilde mark before your search term. Specifically, exclude something by placing a minus before it, or conversely include it by placing a plus mark before it. All of these can be used together to refine your search. Google also offers some specific search functions which are of great benefit to literary research. like Google Scholar, http scholargoogle.com allows you to search for scholarly publications, books, articles, reviews, and so on across a range of disciplines. And also we have Google Book Search, http booksgoogle.com, offers a remarkable and constantly growing virtual library. Copyright material is available in limited preview, snippets, mood, page range, or experts only. While non-copyright books can sometimes be read, downloaded, and printed in their entirety, Google Books Search is often excellent resource for accessing difficult to acquire 1,900 primary sources. But there are two things that you should always bear in mind when using it. Number one, as a matter of routine, always note the exact bibliographical details of the book, including edition details. Exercise through Google Books Search, as you need to be systematic and consistent in your stations from it. Number two, always record the precise URL for the digitized sources so that you can repeat the original search. Accurate station of books is every bit as vital as with material printed source, and it is wise to get into the habit of accurate and full citation of online sources as quickly as possible. So also in this section, we have the Wikipedia and evaluating data. What do we mean by Wikipedia? Wikipedia, www.wikipedia.org, is the world's largest open access encyclopedia founded on the collaborative social knowledge construction or wiki model. It is a useful tool for literary researchers. Wikipedia provides a helpful first part of called providing author biographies, indicative biographies, links to relevant external sites, and discussion formats. An excellent guide on how to use the resources is available at www.howwikipediaworks.com. There are some key advantages to using Wikipedia. Unlike other printed or some online sources, the frequency of editing and updating of information is extremely high. Wikipedia will often reflect recent events or development before other sources. This particularly helpful for researchers in contemporary literature. Creating a username and password to access Wikipedia will allow you to contribute to a social construction of knowledge by joining relevant discussion formats, suggesting useful external links for specific pages, and checking content accuracy and, if needed, suggesting changes. Be sure to cite any page accessed from Wikipedia accurately, clicking on the Cite This Page link in the tall box on the left-hand margin of each page will automatically generate the correct station in a range bibliographic styles. Make sure that you mention a consistent system of citation. Also, in this section, we have the bookmarking and managing reference. What do I mean by that? A number of web tools will help you record and manage reference to both electronic and printed matters. social networking-based internet bookmarking tools such as Twitter, as we know, Twitter, http://www.twitter.com, and we have also Facebook at www.facebook.com. These websites will store web pages and also allow you to share these pages with others. Nowadays, most of internet browsers have abilities and tools to store and share pages from websites. An example to bookmarking website on Google Chrome browser. So here I have an example on this page. So citing sources. Citing sources, there is a serious ethical and legal imperative that shapes how you use your research. Remember that all sources, whether online, printed, or unpublished, need to be cited as fully and accurately as possible. Do not, for example, assume that a quotation from an electronic source does not need to be cited as fully as one from a printed book. Each needs to be cited in full. If you are in any doubt about how to cite internet sources, look first at your prescribed style guide. So, section 2. In section 2, we will have types of material. Number 1, general guide and reference works. There are a number of extremely useful biographical dictionaries, encyclopedias, archival, and literary resources available online. Most of them need registration and subscription. Some of these websites offer free resources, but some need to be paid. For example, the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography. It is most useful online, free, and paid biographical sources for the literary researcher. And also we have American National Biography Online, free and paid online biographical sources for the literary researcher also. And also we have Encyclopedia Britannica, yeah. The most famous free online resources for different subjects.
This also, is Britannica, Mona, Britannica.
Okay, thank you, sir. Britannica. Okay, I'm sorry. Oxford English Dictionary, a very well-known free online dictionary. These sources will give you a general flavor of the scope of literary research, but in order to progress further, you will need to be able to use key online tools to narrow your focus to a specific topic. Also, in section 2, we have indexes and abstracts. One skill that you will have to acquire is the ability to use available online indexes and find abstracts of books and journals articles, thereby mapping out the scope of existing scholarship in given field. In order to do this, you will need to become familiar with the following 4 online database. Number 1, the Modern Language Association International Biography of Books and Articles on the Modern Language and Literature. For example, MILA available through the OCLC First Search website, http first search oclc.org. Simply select MLA from the list of database. Number 2, the annual biography to English language and literature, http www.mhra.org UK journals ABELL. Number 3, the Routledge announced biography of English studies, http netcar Northampton AC UK 1402. So also we have here primary sources and ebooks in section 2. There are a large number of primary literary texts online, as well as considerable number of scholarly titles available as ebooks. Bartleby, http bartleby.com offers a range of verse and fiction as well as considerable reference suite, all of which can be read online or downloaded. Bartleby supports Amazon's ebooks reader system. So we have also Project Gutenberg, www.gutenberg.org catalog, offers more than 27,000 titles, largely fiction published before c. 1935. You can browse the alphabetical author list or search for a specific title. And also in section 2, we have another types of material such as newspapers, electronic and printed sources. Whether your research is a historical or a contemporary, newspaper provide an important source of book and performance reviews, publishers, advertising, editorial comments, and author interviewers. Number 1, British Newspaper Archive, https www.britishNewspaper.archive.co.uk. It is the resource for British Newspaper Archive for researchers. Number 2, the World Archive, www.newspaperarchive.com, the million newspaper around the world. So also we have full text journal articles. There is a wealth of scholarship available in e-journal offered directly through the electronic publisher or meditated through one of the cumulative subject-specific resources. You should already be familiar with conducting a search for abstracts by using resources such as the MLA, ECO, electronic collections online. I mean by this letter, electronic collections online, or ABELL database. A preliminary search for abstract on given author, title, topic, or search keyword should enable you to sketch out the extant scholarship in any given field. It is good research practice to save a copy of your abstract search for reference for the next stage of your research. You now have populate the field that you have sketched out by accessing full text journals so that you can read and evaluate current scholarship and refer to it in your own work. Literature online. Lion is one of the best sources for full text journals. https ProQuest LibreGuides.com Lion PQP. The website https www.jstor.org is also full of journals, but most of them are in PDF format. Project Mouse, www.mouse, GHU-EDUB, although a similar and newer database manages to combine some of the best features of both JSTOR and Lion. It offers full text journal articles only, but unlike JSTOR gives you the choice of viewing your selected article or journal in PDF or HTML format.
Mona, it is not Mouse, it's Project
Muse. Muse, yes, I'm sorry, Muse. Okay, sir. Relevant multimedia material available online. There are a number of multimedia sources offering a range of audiovisual material to support your research in literary studies. ProQuest, https www.proquest.com, is a very useful website for audiovisual, printed and text materials. More of audiovisual archival website for researchers. Number 1, Poetry Archive, www.poetryarchive.org, offers freely accessible poetry reading by poets themselves, ranging from Alfred Tennyson reading The Church of the Light Bridge to Steve Smith reading Not Waving but Drawing. Number 2, Bridgman Education Database, www.bridgmaneducation.com. You can search a browse thematically, use the search index option, exploring the extensive list of book covers, illustrated frontispieces or book illustrations, create a personalized slideshow of book covers, illustrated frontispiece or book illustrated, create personalized slideshow of image for use in presentation and download image, providing it is for your own research. Number 3, YouTube, www.youtube.com offers a remarkably rich resource for literary researchers. You can find video clips of interview with authors, full directions and artists, recent dramatic productions, and eyewitness new footage with which may be unavailable elsewhere. So we have also archive and preparation for future research. Archival source can offer a wealth of information for you to draw upon as your research topic develops during the course of study for the MA, and more importantly, looking forward towards PhD level research. Archives, both material and electronic, can contain rare printed books and published material, handwritten drafts, manuscript, personal library collection, ephemera, and unpublished scholarship, such as MA dissertations and PhD theses. The official National Archives Public Records Offices, national, regional, and university libraries, special collections, and various private institutions and corporations, such as publishers, will have archival material that you might want to access and consult as part of your postgraduate research. Because of the trade in rare books and manuscripts and the effect of the bequest of various literary status, the archive times that you must want to access may well be geographically remote from you. For example, the page proofs of George Eliot's Middlemarch, 1871, are found not in the British Library, which is where the manuscript of the novel in-house, but in the Harry Ransom Research Center at the University of Texas at Austin. It is therefore essential to know where relevant archives might be located and how you might access them. There are several strategies that you might want to adopt order to identify archives and a number of key skills that you need to develop. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what's the problem?
Yes, there's no problem.
Okay.
I want to give my friend a choice to if you want to read. Sorry, if they want to read.
Okay.
Can you ask them, please?
Actually, you have to arrange which part is read by who. So I'm not going to tell you. Actually, we were supposing that we will receive this presentation by 4 of you, by Tisa Jawad, and also with Muhammad Abdulrasa,
and
Mr.
Muhammad.
So any of them are ready to continue, they can.
Yeah. if they are not ready, I will continue, sir. There is no problem.
Okay.
But I want to participate with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if they are ready. Howeide, are you ready? Okay, Howeide, carry on. Thank you very much indeed, Mona. Thanks a lot for your effort.
Thank you, sir.
That was good. Thank you. Howeide, your microphone is open, and you can. Your microphone is open, so you can continue. If your microphone works. Howeide. No reply. Your microphone doesn't work. Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Howeide. Carry on, Howeide. Thank you very much. Carry on.
Yes, doctor. Identifying archives using electronic tools. There are a number of electronic tools that can help you locate specific archives. One of the best single resources to offer location and description advice for the UK is Archives HUB, www.archiveshop.ac.uk. Archives HUB is national descriptive database of UK archives holdings. It doesn't reproduce in digital form any of the contents of these archives, but instead offers a searchable database. Do you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Carry on. Fine.
No
problem.
Yes. Database of description of these holdings, allowing you to identify their relevance to your work. Access to archives www.nationalarchives.gov.uk A2A, also known by its acronym A2A, allow you to search a large number of collections in
Howeide, we have lost your voice. We don't have your voice now. Howeide, no voice.
Do you hear me, doctor?
We can hear you right now, but it was disconnected. Now we can hear you. Carry on.
Yes. The National Archives website offers a comprehensive survey of UK government's archive resources that are available in the public domain, a series of the searchable database. Me, doctor?
Yes, carry on.
When you access the site, click on the drop-down menu under Research and Learning, and then choose Starting your research. You will find 6 separate categories from which to choose, ranging from military history to academic research. There is useful explanation of how to go about using the website to best of effect. One of the most useful databases housed on the National Archives website for literary scholars is the National Register of Archives, www.nationalarchives.gov.uk, NRA. Note that the National Register is just that. It doesn't provide either a descriptive catalog of each individual archive or a specific repository, or reproduce the contents of the archives listed, although usually there is an external web link for you to click to get the required information. The electronic tools I have listed above should give you more than enough information to identify archives relevant.
Mona, you are disconnected. Can't hear you now again.
Yes, sir. I am here.
Okay. Not Mona, sorry. Hobeida, sorry.
Yeah.
I was saying Hobeida. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Hobeida. Now, can we, if you don't mind, let's move to Mr. Muhammad Abdul Reza, because he is also ready for his presentation. I thought that you are going to divide the whole presentation into 4 parts, because there are 4 of you and you have prepared it together. I thought that you are going to present it one by one, but most of the presentation was given by Mona. Then we moved to Hoveide. I'm afraid we are cut off and we can't hear Hoveide's voice. So Muhammad Abdul Reza, if you are ready.
I hear you.
But you have stopped deliberately because we can't hear you now.
Yes.
Carry on, Hoveide.
Yes, Doctor. The electronic tools I have listed above should give you more than enough information to identify archives relevant to your particular research topic in literary studies. Sometimes it is better to go directly a specialist tool. For those working in the early modern period and in the 17th century, Peter Beale's forthcoming catalogue of English literary manuscripts 1450 till 17 CELM http://ies/aec.uk will be particularly helpful. This will be available as an open access online resource and largely supersede the first 2 volumes of the index to literary manuscripts that had complied earlier. Researchers in the Victorian period might want to move directly to Patrick. Do you hear me, sir?
Yes, we are listening. Carry on.
Yes. Iraq
Okay.
and Asian history in the UK.
Hoda, since your friend Muhammad Abdul Reza also is ready for presentation,
Yes.
by your permission, I'm going to give the microphone to Muhammad Abdul Reza. So if kindly you stop presenting and let's move to Muhammad Abdul Reza. Muhammad, are you ready?
Problem.
Thank you very much, Obeida. Thank you for your
Thank
presentation.
Thank
it was
you,
good.
Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Doctor.
Muhammad Abdul Reza, are you ready? I have activated your microphone, so I think you can stop. Sorry, you can start your presentation. The rest that has been left out. I think we are on slide 22, if I'm not mistaken, 21 or 22. 20. Muhammad, I'm afraid we do not have your voice. We can't hear you. Okay, it seems that you have a problem with your microphone. Let's move to Taysir Jawad. Jawad, would you please start your presentation, because I have your microphone activated. Basil, can you hear me?
Hello, Doctor.
Hello, good morning,
Good
and
morning,
welcome
sir.
to the class. Okay, now, would you continue, please?
Okay,
Thank you.
Doctor, I didn't catch my previous slide. Which slide, please? 22?
I think it was either 20 or 21, I suppose.
Okay, I'm going to start from slide number 21. Okay?
Okay, good. Carry on,
Thank
please.
you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please. In this section, types of materials, as it's shown here, there are more of websites here showing the archives for different countries. More useful archival websites for researchers. As you can see now, the number one is National Archives of Australia. Number two, it is the National Archives of France. And number three, National Archives of Germany. Number four, National Archives of India and National Archives of Italy. National Archives and Records Administrations are among the most important. A highly useful list of foreign archival repositories is available through the Archon. It is an abbreviation and directly accessible through the National Archive website. All these archival websites are accessible for researchers as trusted resources. Now moving to slide number 22, participating in research community, expensive and benefits. What are the benefits from joining scholarly learned societies, and what expenses are you likely to incur? Scholarly bodies, almost without exceptions, will offer postgraduate students heavily disconnected rates of membership. Some, such as the MHAR, which is abbreviation, stands for Modern Humanities Research and Association, will offer all registered British postgraduate students 3 years free membership of organization, a copy of their excellent style guide, and 3 years of online access to one of their leading journals, such as the Modern Language Review or the Yearbook of English Studies. Also, where there is a charge, the annual membership cost of joining a learned society is very modest compared to the possible benefits. Many scholarly bodies also help support postgraduate students attend conference through a bursary scheme. Some of these bodies, the British Society for 18th Century Studies and North American Victorian Studies Association, History of the Authorship, Reading and Publishing. Now I'm going to move to slide number 23. Presentation, workshops, networking. As you develop your expertise as researchers and a scholar, you will find that there will be a requirement both for a personal and institutional basis to discuss your work beyond the immediate orbit of your tutors or your supervision team. Part of good practice in academic research is to test your idea in front of your peers, informally, through the circulation of a draft essay and chapters, more formally in the form of presentations at conference or seminars, and eventually there are through publications. This is type of collective quality assurance, and you would do well to engage in it as soon as your research project is sufficiently developed. Conferences, seminars, workshops, and symposia are also venues where academic meets one another. So if you are thinking of a graduate study and research as a part of career, this is an essential part of your career development. I think this is the final or the last slide of the presentation.
Yes.
Attending relevant workshops, research seminars, and conference will give you more immediate sense of scholarship in your area of study, as these are often the first venues of the dissemination of work. in progress, remember that there is a time lag, often of several years, between a piece being offered at the conference and being published as a journal article or as a part of a scholarly monograph. Regularly attending conference and research seminars will ensure that you remain up to update about major trends and developments in your area of research. Attending conference and seminar series is also an excellent way to network with fellow postgraduate students and introduce yourself to the wider scholarly community. There may be other researchers or academics who are interested in your work, but the only way that you will know this is the engaging in the academic circuits and through effective networking. The importance of making presentations at the conference and seminars, attending workshops, and networking with the peers cannot be stressed highly enough. Again, as with joining scholarly bodies, you need to be selective about your commitment and consider the implications it might have in terms of time otherwise allocated for research or writing. This is the end of our presentation, sir.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Very thorough and perfectly managed, and you had all of you together. I think with the help of Muhammad Abdul Reza, who could not present because of, I think he had some problem with the microphone. But
yes,
all
from
of you,
the beginning.
Yes, all of you had put effort in order to prepare it and presenting it. Thank you very much indeed. So if you let me, I want to review what you have mentioned, and it is actually in the nature of this section and why I have asked you to go through this part, because as you could see, it is very, very informative and very helpful. There are some pieces of information that we think they are very obvious, but actually this is in theory because we have not used them in practice. When you put it in practice, you will see that how helpful they are and how helpful they become for helping you in pushing forward your studies and your researches. So to begin your research and in order to start your research projects, it is a very good point to bear in mind that if you are able to have access to this kind of sources, which are mostly presented free of charge and they are free, that would be a very good help. Let me start from the end, when there was an emphasis on taking part in different venues, not venues, the meetings that take place, academic meetings that usually held in different conferences. And as you could see, we have different kind of conferences, seminars, workshops, symposia. These are different forms of places that we can present or meet people who take part in these kind of venues, and they exchange their ideas with each other. And believe me, I myself have experienced this. When you go to take part in, for example, a conference, and when you present your paper, there will be some people who are interested in your work, and they come to you, and you start giving and taking information from each other, and then you will be in a more collaboration with those who were interested in your paper through internet. And as it was mentioned here, I think it was in slide number 22 that the name of some of the societies that provide and gives bursaries for students to take part in the conferences. I have myself witnessed the first one, the British Society for 18th Century Studies, BESIX, that when we took part in this conference that is held nearly for 50 years. It started from 1970, and it is running up still. Every year they have their conference in St. Hugh's University in Oxford. And me and my wife had the chance to take part in these conferences for 5 consecutive years. And there I met some students from different parts of, I think I met 2 Iranian students who came to present their papers through bursaries. Bursaries means they receive some money from the association in order to help them to come to the conference. And they give them accommodation, they give them some tickets for using breakfasts, dinner, and lunch. So they are very helpful in many cases. North American Victorian Studies Association is also another source for sometimes giving bursary. Of course, this bursary is not given to everybody. You should have some specification so that they give you this bursary. For example, you should be from a country, you should be listed from a country that is underdeveloped and or they are facing some internal difficulties and problems so that it is difficult for them to manage to come and take part in the conference. But this is possible. So believe me, taking part, as it is mentioned here by these 2 scholars who have written this book, D'Souza and Owen, they are quite right. Taking part in conferences and presenting your papers would help you to make yourself known to the specific circle of academia so that they will become familiar with your works. And again, I am repeating my personal experiences that how much I have learned from taking part in these conferences is outstanding. I can't count it. I mean, you listen to papers that they will blow your mind. You never thought of them, but they are there. Many good sources mentioned here that you can refer to them and you can obtain information. As it was mentioned, for example, it gives you a 3 year of free membership, 3 years of membership. Your MA course long lasted only for 2 years, but you have access to that source without any limitation, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all through the year, without charging you any money and providing you with lots of information. So please do not only look at these addresses as some unimportant addresses and do not pay attention to them. Please take them serious and go and put some time, try some of them and go inside them and see how much information they are going to present you with, and you will enjoy it because it is very, very helpful. They give you access to the archives, they give you access to newspapers, interviews, They give you access to articles, papers, books, poems, also access to abstracts of dissertations themselves. And what we need for a research actually are exactly these kind of information, these kind of sources. Because as I may have mentioned in my previous session, that the more resources we have, the more valuable and acceptable our research is. The less resources we have, the less sources we refer to, bring down the validity of our work. And this is something that maybe looks strange at the beginning. Now, my research should have originality. So, but if I refer to many sources, the originality of my work will be under question. No, this is not. If you use perfect sources and in their own places, they will help you to write the body of your research. So your research, it is not only is going to be from the beginning up to the end your own words. You should use your writing and your own suggestions and your own ideas, but with the help and receiving help with the sources, different sources. As I have mentioned, because we are dealing with humanities, we are dealing with literature, which are all we are dealing with abstract ideas. So we do not have formulas to refer to a formula and stick to it. So we have to prove them by sticking into a kind of hypothesis or a theory that is pre-existed to our study, so that we can actually hang on that theory and develop our own perceptions and ideas in a good way. So how to use available sources such as Google, I don't know, the very famous internet addresses that are given, for example, YouTube. For example, YouTube in our country is abandoned. So if you want to have, I don't know about Iraq, I don't think that it is the case in Iraq, but you want to have access to YouTube or some other parts, we have to use some filtering, breaking filtering, and doing like this. But if you don't have such problems, please make the most out of it. For example, Google Scholar, Google Book Research, they are very, very good resources that very easily are accessible, and you can find a great deal of information from them. Remember about Wikipedia. Wikipedia is the most popular site that we can refer to, and it will provide us with lots of information. But remember, since it is written by many people, not by only one person, so this is not a source that you can refer to in your researches. So you can use its information, but you cannot make a reference to it. I mean, what is my reference? Wikipedia. It is not accepted. But let alone it is a very, very great source for your study. And the last point, because we are reaching to the end of the class, is I think it's in slide number 10, which provided you with different kinds of popular citation styles. As you can see, the one that we stick to and we use is MLA, which stands for, I think, told you what does it stands for. It stands for Modern Language Association. Modern Language Association. And as you can see, in the field of English literature, foreign language, communications, and religious studies, they usually use MLA citation. So we, unless our study is not based on linguistic studies, in that case, we use APA. In other cases, we stick to MLA. So MLA is the most important citation site that we are going to use, and it is available by clicking mla.com or by going to owl.com. You can easily have access to it. Well, thank you very much indeed for your presence in the class and the very good presentation that we have. Next week, we are going through the second part of the book, which is about tools, Introduction to Types of Research in English Studies, Textual Scholarship, and Book History. In your book, it is part 2. So I want 3 or 4 other students to become a volunteer to present this part for the next week. Any volunteers for part 2, Textual Scholarship and Book History? Any volunteers? Muhammad Khalil, let me write it down. So Muhammad is going to be one of the presenters. Very good. Who else? Hebe Sobhi and Safa Saddam. Let me see. Hebe Sobhi, good. And who else? Oveida Qudduri. Oveida, you have just had your presentation, so you don't have to do it again. Here we have Muhammad Zahra Muhammad. Let me find out. Zahra Muhammad for part 2. And so we have 1, 2, 3. We have one more. And also Safa Saddam. Let me find it out. Safa Saddam for part 2. Then the rest of you, Fikri and Fatan and the rest, you can go through the other parts of the book. Okay, so don't worry. So for next week, Muhammad Khalil, Hebe Sobhi, Zahra Muhammad, and Safa Saddam are going to present the second part of your book. Other member of the class, please kindly go and read second part of the book by yourselves as well, and come to the class prepared so that when your friends presents their presentation, we can very easily communicate with each other. Thank you very much indeed for your presence in the class. Have a very good ahead and take care. Until next session, goodbye.